I move for no man, no man, no man, no man, no man.
Call it a draw. Just a flesh wound, 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 just a flesh wound.
Gary, what's going on with your hair, dude? You look like a freaking bum.
Yeah. That's what happens when you shut down all fucking businesses.
Well, I mean, you could shave your head.
I could, but I'm not gonna.
Or you could hire Chris's barber.
You can take my hair, but you can't take my freedom.
So do you just like walk around with bedhead everywhere?
Yeah. What do I can't do anything. We're not allowed to do shit. So
well, Chris, maybe you could send him some pomade or some gel or something.
I don't know if that's gonna take more than that.
Why would I do that? I have no one to impress anymore. This is it.
That's more than a touch-up job.
This is my personal protest.
Are you?
I'm gonna try to look so ugly that people want to overrule the rules of this shutdown, so that my hair will get fixed.
I feel sorry for your roommate. No deodorant, no washing your hair, no shower until this is over.
Yeah, man.
Just a dirty motherfucker.
That's it. Dirty white boy, as they say. Oh, you guys got to check out this new shirt that I just got. Sick.
Nice.
Isn't that amazing?
It's
Classic
Bugs Bunny
getting his freak on.
Getting his freak on, just spanking some chick or some other bunny.
Excuse me, spank bat. Did you watch Space Jam?
I was gonna say
not.
that's not just some chick. That's the bunny honey.
Sorry. I did not watch that.
Really?
When you watched Titanic, did you only remember Jack's name and not Rose?
Yeah, I do remember Titanic. That I do.
Frank, you haven't seen Space Jam?
No, I know it's with Michael Jordan, but I haven't really.
Dude, trust me.
Is it like a kid's movie?
Even as an adult, watch Space Jam.
Yeah?
Good ass movie.
Yeah.
Well, I just might have to now that I'm like I've been watching The Last Dance documentary of the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah. We know you have
seen
plenty of time to watch Space Jam because you're scrolling through literally every single one of Blessing's content that he doesn't even remember. So
Dude, I was fucking doing research on the guy, man. I was trying to find conversation for him, but
he's doing that.
You know, he thought
before the test. He like remembers details about Blessing's life that the Blessing doesn't remember at all.
Right. He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
It was amazing. I loved
So
it.
he left that interview thinking that I'm a fucking stalker.
I thought it was great.
Chris, what about your weekend, man?
Uneventful.
Chris.
Weekend. Yeah, I didn't do shit.
I noticed you didn't get more tan this time. You started to peak.
It was thunderstorming like all weekend, so I kind of stayed in.
Okay.
Which is great for sleep, man. I love sleeping in the rainstorms.
I was kind of expecting something grand that was going to happen today.
Yeah,
a different tone of a different shade of Chris today.
I was gonna shave for you guys, but I decided to stick with the quarantine facial hair or not.
Just like me.
Your beard's getting so long, it's like filling in and looking better. Looking cleaner.
That's it. I had trimmed the beard a few times, if I must admit it. The hair, I did not though.
You trim your mustache as well.
I did trim the mustache a little bit. The hair.
Well, you have to. Once it starts going over your lip, that's the worst.
I was gonna say that when it starts going into your teeth.
Dude, like I didn't realize that like the sacrifice that was involved when I started growing the bigger mustaches, man. It's real rough. Like just everything you eat just gets in those. It's just so gross. And like I can't, sensory wise, I can't handle that shit, man. And to deal with that for so long was terrible.
I've never been able to do it. I've never had like a big mustache. I've been thinking about it while in quarantine, but
maybe it's because you're not a rapist.
Because you don't want to look like a pedo.
So do I have to rape first, or do I have to
Hey, you gotta.
How does that work? Do you have to?
Is it chicken or the egg on that one? I'm not sure.
And that's the story of how this podcast got canceled. It was that easy, boys.
This has been fun.
Dude, did you see Gary's pants, Chris?
I did.
Throwback.
Check
to
out
the Fresh
those
Prince of
from?
Bel-Air.
Oh, they're still on. Nice.
Here, wait.
Oh, those look comfortable too.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised in the playgrounds where I spent most of my days, chilling out, maxing, relaxing on pool while shooting some people outside school. A couple of guys who were up to no good. Nice, Gary. Do you guys ever listen to any music?
Yeah.
I was watching.
I'm actually deaf. I'm just reading your lips right now. Never heard music before.
On Friday. You guys know Post Malone?
Yeah.
If you don't, you guys are idiots.
I've seen a picture of him before. I can't say I know him for what he's known for.
Yeah, you probably do.
I know his music.
I
Yeah.
just know his
No.
tattooed face.
Him and Travis Barker did a Nirvana tribute on Friday, which was pretty good,
Oh, it
actually. It
sound
was
like
really
that
good.
should have happened.
It was pretty good. They
That
raised
kid- That kid is
$7
so
million
talented.
bucks.
Well, they both are. They're both ridiculously talented.
I fucks with both of them.
I like Post Malone. His music is solid.
I do generally feel as though Nirvana shouldn't be touched, but I'll have to listen.
Well,
Before I
the thing about it is that he's exposing their music to a whole new generation of kids.
Good point.
So he's keeping the legend of Nirvana alive.
Sure.
I was reading
So
up
long
on the
as it doesn't-
comments on some people commenting like, "Oh, I didn't know who Nirvana was," and
Wow.
I like their music.
That's
Isn't that crazy? Like the new
It's
generation
so
comes
odd
out
to
and
think
just
like that.
everything's forgotten.
Everything's forgotten.
Not us now. We got a podcast. This is never gonna go away. Until we can.
It's
But
will
at least
live
these
on
episodes
forever.
will still be there.
Episode 1, I wish was not in the internet anymore, but what can we do, right? Ouch, that was pretty cringeworthy.
200 shows from now, it's gonna be funny.
There's definitely parts of this podcast that are gonna get cut and just ruin my career for sure. I know that. That's a fact.
Well, that's what we're actually aiming for.
Yeah.
Frankie's
Yes.
actually just collecting
100%.
dirt on us.
Yeah. That's it.
It's always at the point where you're like climbing highest that kind of shit comes out. It'll be like Gary Tonin did a podcast 5 years. That's what happened to Kevin Hart. I think Kevin Hart's joke that he made like about gays. I'm pretty sure that joke was like 5 years prior or something, and somebody dug up some old tweet. That
Well, yeah, but it was also in one of his specials, so it's not like
no, but
it was
either way, I'm just saying like they dug up like some old shit, and then they were like, yeah, you can't host.
Well, I feel like, you're not like once he started getting really big, he started kind of censoring the way that he spoke and just some of his jokes. But I feel that you're not going to do that. I think that you're just going to be a douchebag all around till the
better
end
to
of
be that
time.
way. It's definitely better to be a douchebag all the time, and then nobody expects anything less. If you're like really nice, like Tom is super super nice and super helpful to like a lot of
Who's
people.
Tom DeBlas?
Tom DeBlas. But like, dude, if he like a smidgen like falls off of the like persona that he's created as like a positive person, and like, he maybe like attacks somebody or something, like all of a sudden there's mass criticism. Like he does something even a little bit wrong, everybody's quick to jump on him because, he's been a source of positivity. Everybody loves to fucking tear positive shit down. But it
Yeah.
like,
They're like,
Gordon,
he's under a
like-
magnifying glass.
like, are you going to read an article that says like Gordon was a douchebag again? It's like,
No.
whatever.
Like, yeah. Oh.
Like nobody cares,
You were hanging out with him yesterday. You guys were watching fights,
Yeah.
grappling events.
So Ethan and Craig competed in SUG, which Chael is still able to put it on. I think I don't know. I don't remember the story behind it. He said something like it was used to be a bar or something like that they're doing it in. That's I'm assuming is closed. So maybe he rented the space from somebody. And they had
Their
some matches.
viewerships must be really good.
Sorry.
Their viewerships must be really good. Like,
Oh
in-
man, it
in-
has
in
to
this
kill
time.
it right now. It has.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, regardless of what it is, it has to be much better than it was before any of this happened. Because what else is there to watch? I mean, this is a live event. There are no other live events happening. So, I mean, you can watch tons of other stuff. Don't get me wrong. You have options, but it's one thing to watch, something, and then it's another thing to watch something live. If they didn't do well, it's entirely their fault for not promoting it well enough, basically. But yeah,
What,
I imagine it would have done
I
well.
saw your post. What happened to Vinny Magalhães?
Dude, Vinny's leg got severely broken twice. From
Really?
what I've heard, rumor has it he broke his fibula, which I'm not surprised. That often happens in leg locks, severe ones. And it looks as though most of the damage was done to his ankle just based off of the break. But I would
Why
assume
didn't he tap?
as well.
He's
It's
just
kind of
savage.
his thing. It's kind of his thing. Like
What,
he
just getting injured?
specifically to leg locks, he always like claims leg locks don't work. I broke him in ADCC. Gordon broke him in one of his matches. He's been broken. Got broken in an armbar with Verdum. Like, and when I
Wait,
say
you broke
broken,
his
a lot
ankle?
of times it's just ligament tears.
You broke his ankle too?
Mm-hmm. Like
Jesus.
multiple times our match. He ended up winning because I pulled guard. There's no guard pulling in like the overtimes, and we went into overtime. But anyway, yeah, I broke his ankle. Gordon did. So he's had damage a number of times, but never tapped. And the same thing happened with Craig. Technically, he didn't tap until he had to quit the match because his leg was so broken. He literally couldn't stand up. They had to. I don't know how they got him out of there because he's a big dude, but he wasn't standing up after the match. So clearly, his shit was fucking pretty bad.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad does that hurt?
I've never had a major bone in my body break before. So it's really hard for me to tell. I don't know what a bone break feels like. I thought I broke my hand, but it really was just the ligaments completely tore in my wrist. I don't know.
Punching?
But your ankle being that swollen definitely hurts a lot. I mean, from the ligament tears, but it's hard for me to say if like the bone is worse. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it was very gratifying because he constantly says leg locks don't work. And it's a joke, obviously. He's using it to promote, but it's kind of like, all right, all the shit talk ends now. He literally broke your leg so bad you can't move. So clearly leg locks work. A couple people got upset because I posted some joke where like there was hydraulics on a car and the wheel bent backwards. And I was like, that was Vinny.
And people got pissed?
Yeah, a couple people got pissed. Like, oh,
like,
man,
that's in poor taste, Garry.
Won. It's disrespectful.
Poor taste.
Like, do you guys really think that when I get knocked out viciously in the ring that somebody's not going to post a meme of my face with fucking drool and blood spilling out of it? Are you fucking kidding?
That's the world we live in.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
I saw that meme though with the car with the hydraulic car that breaks.
Yeah, yeah.
The meme was funny. It said, "I've never seen a car tear its ACL before."
That's hilarious. Did you guys ever see the meme of Ronda Rousey when she got head kicked? It was like a freeze frame of her like smoking weed.
Oh, I did.
Yes, yes.
Dude, that was
Holly Holm kicked the
brutal.
belt.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
People are so bad.
So
It's
bad.
great though. Some of those are awesome. I remember there was
brutal.
there was a dude that got KO'd that had like foam coming out of his mouth or something. There was all kinds of terrible memes. I forget who it was, but it was a good time.
Yeah, the internet can be really, really vicious. She's getting a lot of shit right now because she was talking about WWE and how the fans like are shitty fans. They don't appreciate.
I
And
heard
she's-
about that. I heard that
was-
like some of the female wrestlers were talking shit about her. I'm like, whoa, she's a real fighter. You can't compare. Wrestling's tough. Don't get me wrong.
Now-
Guys are great athletes. You're not fucking fighters.
When you guys read these interviews or whatever it is that she said, did you read it? Or is this all hearsay?
Yeah, no, I read it.
You read it. Does it feel to you like it could possibly be theatrics to pump up her presence more, or do you think that it's genuine coming from her as a genuine concern?
I actually think it's a work, man. I think that she's trying to play the heel and she's coming back.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
It's so hard when stuff like this comes out for me to like really fully buy into it, because like that's kind of part of the show, right? Is they drum up all this attention and noise and this, that, and the other thing, which is cool. I mean, that's the whole, we're talking about it right now, right? Like that's, they won. Like,
And they're
whether
going
it's
to be
real
doing
or not.
shows. They're going to be the first events that we're going to see.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the next UFC. You guys see how sick the card is?
It
Yeah.
is sick.
A lot of fights.
Sick card. I don't know if it's going to happen though. I'm
You
not
think it's
confident.
not?
I'm not confident it's going to
You
happen.
think for the second time now it's going to get canceled? Dude, I highly doubt it. Dana was ready to go before, and like one of the execs had to tell him to stand down, but I don't think he would be doing this without like their consent anymore.
Yeah, he would have had to ask anybody that was important, because like, why would he waste that time, energy, effort? Like I know people that are going to be on the card, and I don't see why he would go through all that effort without clearing it with like literally everyone.
Because he's
Yeah,
Dana
and
White. He's stubborn as fuck. He's hard-headed. And this is what he does.
You make a good point. He is kind of retarded.
If Vince McMahon was able to pull it off and made Gronk a champ, the 24/7 champ, yeah, Gronk. So if he could pull it off, there's no doubt that
Is
Dana.
Gronk still playing football? He is, isn't he?
Oh, dude, did you guys see that post that Tom Brady did?
No.
He grabs like a shell and he blows on it as if it was like a bullhorn, like doo doo.
Oh, like a conch? Like
Yeah.
calling-
Okay.
calling
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
armies.
Like a conch, right?
Mhm.
And a flock of seagulls like start flapping up in the air, like kind of epic. And Gronk shows up in his
Yeah,
like
so,
uniform,
Yeah, I thought I heard
like
that Gronk was
like
back
I'm-
playing football.
like put me in, I'm ready.
That's awesome.
That's gonna be a sick team, man. The
So this
Gronk
guy-
and
this
Tom
guy-
Brady
This guy's
back
going to be
again.
heavyweight. He's going to be a champ in WWE, and he's going to be playing in the NFL.
Yep, pretty much.
That's badass.
It's crazy because he doesn't
money.
really look that big. He doesn't like look that big, but I know that he's fucking huge. When I saw him next to the wrestlers, he's a really tall dude, but he doesn't look like really muscular, but he's just a really thick dude.
Those guys are monsters, bro. Those WWE guys are fucking gigantic.
Well, the thing is that he looks kind of lanky because he has like long limbs and stuff, but it's just
Well,
because of
he's
his
a-
height.
He's an
He's a
athlete.
giant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about giants, man. In the Last Dance documentary, I'm not gonna ruin it for you guys, but did you know that Scottie
I'm definitely
Pippen,
gonna be watching that later.
bro, Scottie Pippen was, I think he was 6'1" when he was a freshman, and then when he was a sophomore or senior, he came back at like 6'7", 6'8".
We had a guy like that at Stony Brook University. We brought this kid on, and I forgot what it was. He came from what country was it? He came from some Caribbean country, and like didn't have access to like real food or training or something or anything. He came and he grew like 6 inches in 18 months just because he's probably so malnourished from playing down there. And then he came up here and he had a Division I scholarship, and he got the meal card, he got to eat, and he was training and lifting. Dude, this kid, he gained like 30 pounds. He grew like 6 inches. It was crazy.
That alongside a bunch of steroids you guys at Stony Brook pumped in him. You fucking know it.
That's hearsay.
Fucking know it.
That's hearsay. I would like that stricken from the record.
Dude, there's no way. And Dennis Rodman was 5'10", and then the dude was like 6'8".
Oh yeah, he's huge too. Do you remember Dennis Rodman playing? He was so fucking badass. Like
Yeah,
he,
dude.
rebounds like crazy. He would fight people on the court.
At one point, he was probably like the one of the most important players in the NBA, or most recognized.
Yeah.
Freaking superstar, man.
Super athlete. Super athlete.
Eyewitness News, where news comes first.
Hit it up with some current events. So, an animal rights group is working with New York State Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal, and they are working hard to get wet markets in the Big Apple shut down. Apparently, there's 80 wet markets in New York City still operating, and they clearly show very unsanitary conditions.
In New York City?
In the epicenter of the outbreak of the
I didn't know there was
coronavirus,
any
bro.
ever. And
Yes.
there's wet markets now?
80 of them actually in the city.
I mean, it's cool that they're trying to solve the problem, but or future problems. But I feel like we have bigger fish to fry right now. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
that's some shit that
100%.
we should worry about for like next time, But yeah,
I think they're just trying to get them shut down like indefinitely, like or forever. Because these wet markets, like they're full of blood, feces, and just like limbs.
Bro, those videos are vile.
And they're like near residential neighborhoods and stuff like that.
No one's wearing gloves. They're
gross.
grabbing all these like raw, sometimes live animals, just in different. There's nothing separating anything. It's disgusting.
sure.
Have you seen one, Chris?
Yeah, I have seen a couple videos.
Is that where you buy your ribs?
No, that's where I get my bat. Like fried bat is like.
There was when I was in South Korea, there was a huge like fish market area because we were in Busan, which is on the water, and man, that shit smelled so fucking bad. I tried to get out of there, but it was like a maze. So I just kept walking around in circles in this fucking fish market, and it was just, it was awful, man.
And coming from you, that means so much. From all the dirty asses that you eat.
It was way worse than the worst smelling woman I've ever been with, for sure, by far.
And we've seen the type of monsters that you've gone down on. So.
It's another kind of wet market.
Yeah.
Did you what's like the weirdest stuff what's the weirdest food that you ate over there, Gary?
Oh, in South Korea? I don't know if it was that weird, but they made these these egg sandwiches with like garlic butter. So like I saw egg sandwich and I was excited because I love fucking breakfast food. And oh man, that shit was delicious. It was better than any breakfast sandwich I've ever had here. They had one where you could add bacon to it, and it was literally fucking delicious. I wish I had the recipe for whatever the fuck that was. I didn't really eat anything weird though. I'm trying to think. We did go to some fish place one time. Oh, I know what I ate that was weird.
An egg sandwich, by the way, is basic as fuck.
Yeah, I know.
It's like you didn't have to go to Korea to have an egg McSandwich.
It's some kind of like mollusk or something. I'm trying to think what the name of it is.
Was it like chewy?
It starts with an A. It might not even be a mollusk. I literally don't know what it is.
Was it chewy?
Yeah, actually no, it definitely is like some sort of a mollusk. Yeah, I think it's chewy. It's kind of expensive. People like it's like a big thing people like to eat.
Escargot?
No. It starts with an A. Like I keep wanting to say albacore, but that's for tuna. No, it's like it's got something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You're gonna come up with it. I know.
I know what you're talking about.
What type of animal is it, Gary?
Is it albaline or something like that?
Albaline. That's what it is. Yeah, I had albaline there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like some type of a mollusk. It was all right. It wasn't bad. I didn't like see like why people thought it was so great, but it was okay. It was like eating like clams or whatever.
Was it like sautéed and some onions and shit, dog?
Probably not. That's not the Asian style.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
It's like straight out of the shell. Out of the shell.
Probably just cooked, boiled, or something like that.
It's probably still alive.
Yeah.
Way down your throat.
Gary was asking for ketchup. Yo, you got ketchup?
There's actually some argument in veganism that it's okay to eat mollusks because they don't have like a nervous system or something. So even though they're an animal, it's like certain vegans think it's okay to eat them.
Dude, they're so hypocritical, man.
Dude.
Plus, how many rodents and insects do they have to kill like to make these veggies?
Dude, almond milk is like one of the most. Almond milk is one of the most like hazardous to the environment produced foods in the world.
Is it really?
And yeah, dude, it's really bad. The amount of
what is
water
it? Why is it like environmentally bad? I'm curious. I'm not criticizing, by the way.
No, because it's a monoculture, and like they have like these gigantic fields of like just almonds, and apparently it takes a tremendous amount of water to put through the almonds in order to make the liquid.
Well, that's always the argument with the cows, right? Like
the water, yeah.
That's what. See, like I never understood. They tried to say something about. I remember seeing some billboard or something about water usage and like claiming like I don't even remember what they were trying to say.
Yeah,
but
one burger is like 1,000 gallons of water or something.
Yeah. It was something insane though. I don't know. It didn't really make sense to me. But I get what people are trying to say with that. But yeah, I mean, it seems like it's the same on the other side. Like you definitely have to if you're gonna be mass producing things.
Yeah,
like you have to have ways, like Frankie was saying, like you have to have ways to preserve the crops. Like you can't have a bunch of vermin eating them. You have to have ways to, like feed the animals or whatever the case may be. Like I don't.
You gotta do like what is it called? Frank, you know what I'm talking about? Where it's it's like a secular farming where
aquaponics.
Yeah, no, it's I forgot what it's called, but it's like sustainable farming where like you're taking carbon out of the ground, like everything is recycled and reused.
Crop rotation?
What's that?
Crop rotation?
Not even crop rotation, but it's the idea of having everything together. So it's
hydroponics.
Not like monoculture. So it's like one, like if you have a whole field that's just corn, that's really bad for the soil. But if you have like a piece of corn and then a soy thing and then like a cow and then a pig and like the way it's supposed to be, like a real farm.
I could have swore that was called crop rotation when you take one crop and move it to a new area and to take different nutrients.
Yeah, no, that's definitely crop rotation. But I mean just like having like the animals.
Like an ecosystem.
Right. Like
okay.
So like the livestock will eat the crops and then it's fertilize the next round.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Theo and I were gonna build like an aquaponic farm, which is where you have like rafts full of crops.
Yeah.
And then you grow fish and crops at the same time, and they feed off each other.
Right, that's the idea. But there's a name for that. Whatever that animal crop rotation is.
Yeah. But it's really inefficient, and it was a stupid idea, so we didn't.
I wonder.
It's great for your house. It's not great for producing it.
Yeah, it sounds nice and pretty, but yeah.
I wonder in the future with like much greater populations, like let's say our population doubles, right? Like, because it's inevitable. Like the human race is just going to continue to grow until it reaches its peak, and then unless we found like another Earth or something like that.
I think I got your answer.
Gotta go to Mars.
I think I got your answer.
But I was going to say, like, I wonder which is actually more sustainable, like something like veganism or people eating meat. Like at a certain point, which one takes up more space, like over time? Like if to feed an entire population, like once we reach our peak as a population, is it even possible for us to be vegan? Or
the calorie density of the food is so low. Like the volume of food is insane. So,
well, as for crops, they already have prototypes of these farms in the city, in buildings, like huge. I think it's in Asia that they have like a prototype of like a huge skyscraper, and each floor has like different crops.
What they're gonna do is they're gonna do the genetically like made meat. Like they're just gonna produce meat.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen because they're already working on that.
Yeah.
And then more allergies are gonna come up.
And we're gonna have more pandemics too, because we got way too many fucking people.
Yeah, it's always like confusing to me, the arguments against like genetically modified stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess I get it because people are scared, they might tamper with something and it might, affect somebody's health. I totally get that. But like at a certain point, like we have to do these things.
Of course.
Like we're doing it. People have to realize like the reason that these types of things are done is to try to save money, to make sure that like less crops die, genetically modifying them so that they're, certain insects won't eat them or whatever the case may be. Like it's for a purpose. It's not like
we're genetically modified. We are a cross strain of two people. Our genes are flexed. We're GMO. Like we are genetically modified. That's what the world is.
And all those supplements that we take, I know that all that creatine that I down, I'm genetically modified too.
You look it, bro.
Yeah. You're looking real genetically modified right now.
Look it.
Okay, so it's obvious that people are pretty tired of quarantine and lockdown. So there's a bunch of beachgoers in Venice, Huntington Beach. Mm-hmm. In New York, people are flocking out to the parks, Coney Island, and a bunch of people in Austin, Texas, and just all around the country, people aren't giving a shit and just like stacking up in public places. They've had enough.
Yeah. I think it's great personally, but like anybody that's like upset about all this, like I genuinely think it's the fault of how extreme we tried to handle the problem. Like if you allowed people to go surfing by themselves and just said, hey guys, like you really shouldn't be right next to each other. Like what do you think is going to happen when you completely restrict movement for 2 fucking months and then you go, hey guys, the beaches are open? Where do you fucking think people are going to want to go? Mm-hmm. If they'd been open all along, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. It'd be like, oh, okay, whatever.
New York's tough, man. I don't know what they're gonna do, especially when it gets hotter in the next couple of months. Like they need to open things up.
I saw a video of this weekend with like 1 million people at Central Park.
Yeah, that's been like that for weeks. That hasn't really changed.
So there's this guy called Michael Rubin that created this all-in challenge. Have you guys heard of it? With celebrities and athletes. So they're raising money to feed families in need during this pandemic. It's so it's a website where you can bid on prizes.
Okay.
And the prizes are like pretty damn good. It's like hang out with Drake for a week.
Or like
Or
my
go to-
autograph on a piece of paper.
I mean,
Gary Tony, his autograph, underwear.
yeah, that too.
That's it. That's on there.
You know my
Gary's like,
autograph
what
on my
are these?
autograph on the online. You know how much it goes for?
What?
You know
What
how much
autograph?
my autograph goes for online? My manager found it yesterday.
I'm gonna say $1.15.
What do you think, Chris?
Is that? Am I going higher or lower than that?
Whatever. The price is right.
Like on eBay or something?
I don't know if it was. I don't know where it was. It was just a card that I must have signed. Because every time I go to one of these Asian countries, they just line up at whatever hotel that we're at, and they just have you sign a bunch of shit. Most of them don't even know who you are. Like
Yeah.
it seems like they do, but they don't. Like they just know where the fighter hotels are, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get these guys to sign a bunch of shit.
They're
How many
infatuated
iPhones
with
have-
Americans.
How many iPhones have you signed over there? I signed so many iPhones. I'm like, really? Like, literally, you want me to Sharpie your iPhone?
Yeah. Like yes. You should have signed the screen.
What an asshole.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
Nah, when I get in the signing mode, you never know where I'm gonna go.
Just on people's faces and shit.
Chris, over and under $1.
Over.
Okay, so I was pleasantly surprised, or sorry, at first I was a little butthurt by the number. It's $25 was what Jeff found. Okay, but then the person had gotten other people's signatures, and one of them was who's the bantamweight champ? What's his name? Little guy wrestler.
Cejudo?
DJ Cejudo?
Yeah, so Cejudo had signed one, and that one was going for $5. So
Oh.
I'm saying my stock
Look at you.
5 times
Okay,
Cejudo's.
Okay,
Fucking double champ.
I have a question. Were you dressed as Wolverine?
Ooh.
It's
Because your
not.
stock goes way up if you dress as a Marvel character over
It
there.
wasn't even a picture. It's just a card with my name written on it, like a little white card.
No. When you signed it, were you
Oh,
Gary
oh,
Tonin or were you Wolverine Tonin?
this is a good point. I don't know. I was.
It didn't
Wolverine
even say Gary.
with
It said Logan.
Because Gary was sporting the Wolverine look all week.
Gary can go as Wolverine. I'll go as Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat. Frank, you can be.
I'll be both of your supervisors. Make sure you're on your best behavior.
You can be Spider-Man when he's not wearing the costume.
Naked Spider-Man.
Because I look like a 15-year-old boy. I look like Tobey Maguire.
That's Tobey Maguire.
That's fine.
we struck a chord.
Worst.
We really really got to something there with you, Frankie. We have some body image issues you want to unpack?
Tobey
That's
Maguire
the place to do it.
is probably down on the list of people that I would like to be. Like way bottom, like in the bottom.
Wait, you want Tobey Maguire to be your bottom? Is that what you said?
On bottom.
Dude, I think he's a power bottom, so be careful.
He's never ever made another movie. Have you guys seen Seabiscuit? That one
He doesn't
actually
have
made me cry.
No, but I've seen
He's
some.
got Spider-Man money. He's
I've seen
good.
some girls that
Yeah.
look like Seabiscuit.
Oh, there he is,
There he is.
Mr. ATM.
Frankie witnessed one of them.
I'm a vault, Gary. Your secrets are safe with me, except when we turn this little mock on. So, anyways, these celebrities, they offer really good prizes, and this guy plans to raise about $100 million.
Damn. I don't
So,
know.
yeah.
I wouldn't want to hang out with Drake. That wouldn't be something I'd want.
Well, you can.
Well, that's
There's
because
probably like 100 celebrities on there.
that's because
can
you
hang
lose
out
your
with.
next fight if you did. So
with
What's
the-
that?
it's because you'd lose your next fight if you did hang out with Drake. So You know, you got to be careful of that Drake curse.
Never want to fight again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, watch that. That's some real shit, dude. It's been right way too many times.
He steals everyone's fucking luck. He's just got it.
That's what it is. An incubus.
Do you guys watch basketball?
I do not. I was very, very poor at that as a child, and maybe that motivated me not to watch.
I don't watch any sports. I watch fighting. I really don't watch anything.
I can like enjoy it if I went to a game or like if a bunch of people are watching it. Like I find it exciting, but like I just don't follow the sport.
Going to anything's fun. Like hockey games are fucking awesome. They're so fast, but like I can't watch it on TV at all.
Yeah.
I can't really watch basketball on TV either.
The best part of the hockey game was when they start fighting.
If you're at a hockey games are cool.
Sure.
Yeah. They're entertaining. So a bunch of universities are getting sued for students claiming that they're not getting their money's worth with the campuses shut down.
Mm.
And so there's this architect student in the University of Miami that says that she paid miscellaneous fees, student center fees, wellness center fees, activity fees, athletic fees, health and counsel center fees, and all these other fees, and she can't use the full benefits.
Yeah.
I see that students are also saying that some online platforms, I'm sure that it's not like all colleges, but that the online platform sucks. I guess, they've had like difficulty accessing professors and faculty. So,
dude, I know some professors that are really doing a shit job in terms of their classes. They're fucking drunk all day long. So I get the gripe. I'd be pissed if I paid for a major education and my professor's drinking at noon.
Yeah.
And all those students that go into like student debt, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It would be great to see them get reimbursed in some way, but I also feel like the colleges probably legally protect themselves out the ass, and I bet that there's something that you sign that doesn't allow you to get any of that money back or anything like that. Yeah,
like a little disclaimer fee.
Yeah, they often put a God clause in many contracts where it's like even if there's some kind of crazy natural disaster, go fuck yourself.
Oh, for sure. Education is big business. They're protecting their corporate money.
Yeah. Yeah, I doubt that they're going to succeed, but you never know.
I feel for these students, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's just weird in general education right now because when we get on the other side of this, what is going to be business? Business is going to change. Everything's going to change. Like, what is your degree? What if you're studying something that is just not going to be around anymore?
Mm.
So, how do you guys feel about like formal educations?
Oh, you mean like regular public school, or what do you mean?
No, like how do you feel about like college, for example?
It's way too expensive. It's the financial debt that you get out of college with no guarantee that you're going to get a job or have a career that can pay back that debt is absolutely insane. It's so imbalanced.
I think the most important thing in my eyes is like, hey, listen, like if college is going to be expensive, that's fine, but like I think there needs to be a better effort on the part of educators earlier on to direct you down a path where you're going to be able to make that money back, right? Like somebody who sits with you and says, hey man, like this is what this costs, this is what you're pursuing, this is what you're likely to make per year. Will this be worth? Here's some other options that are very similar to this that you can probably make roughly the same salary, but you're not going to have to pay for X amount of schooling or, this particular school or whatever the case may be. And stuff like that just isn't done. Basically, you're just taught, go to college. You're going to make money.
You're investing in your future, Garry. You need to go to college.
Which sometimes is true, but a lot of times is not.
Most of the time, it's like playing the stock market. You're investing in shit that you know if it's going to pan out.
Yeah.
You know if you're going to make money.
And I will say a lot of the things you learn, like I went to, not to say I didn't like focus on business, but I got a minor in small business when I was in school. And not to say that there wasn't some stuff that was useful, but a lot of it was, like we didn't learn nearly as much. By the time I was out, it was so important to understand how to use like Facebook, Instagram advertising. And like that was so much more important than anything that we learned probably. I was going
to say that like, colleges don't really teach you about real life. They they kind of teach you how to be an employee,
Mm.
you know, but they don't teach you about how to do things on your own, like how to make money yourself, or how to be maybe like how to become an entrepreneur.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say that I'm appreciative of is like on some level, like just learning about a large amounts of different things. I feel like, don't get me wrong, I say some stupid shit sometimes, but I feel like prevents me from making a fool of myself more than I would normally. Like that whole thing that everybody kind of blew out of proportion with Trump, like suggesting like that we were going to be like injecting disinfectants and things like that into our bodies. Did you guys catch
Did you
that?
see the video?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
he,
the
never,
video.
he didn't say Lysol.
He didn't say
for a week.
that.
No, and obviously,
Dude, and he
didn't
was
say-
talking to someone, like he was probably talking to like one of the doctors on the side. People just want to take shots at him, you know, warranted, because you know
Honestly, I
he
described that as watching him like being in a little bit of a panic. He was like searching for anything. Like he just doesn't have an answer. He doesn't have an answer, and he doesn't like that. So he was just kind of throwing out ideas and talking to people.
Yeah.
I saw a completely different thing than what people, you know, like you said, people just want to throw him under the bus. But I think we saw our president floundering. You know, like he's having trouble with this. This is
Sure.
and he should be, because it's we don't have any answers.
right.
And he's just trying for anything. He's a very successful guy. He's used to having answers, and he doesn't have any for this.
Sure. I just think that in general, like I feel like it's hard to argue this, but maybe you guys will. I'm not saying I agree that it came off the way that they suggested it came off, but it definitely could have came off better if he had a better understanding of like basic biology and things.
Yeah.
Like you probably wouldn't choose to use the word disinfectant, maybe, you know what I mean? And like there's things that would have been verbalized a little differently, I think. And I agree with you that what he was attempting to do was use like methods of public speaking that he already understands, that he's very good at. To kind of keep conversations going and keep things directed the way that he wants them directed, which he's great at. But at the same time, when the words were fumbled like that, I can see what happened there. It made it very easy to turn it into something that it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see your point. Like he has zero background in anything medical or anything health, or even
It's
how
out of
life
his
works.
wheelhouse.
It's a basic level.
Sure.
So,
Not that I necessarily expect everybody to like be like a fully educated person about everything, but I do think that having a balanced education about a bunch of different things does kind of prevent like slip ups and things like that sometimes from happening, you know?
Man, I mean, he's bound to mess up
Sure.
once in a while. He does a press conference like every fucking day, dude.
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
He talks so much.
So
Yeah.
much.
Hey man, I don't want that fucking job.
No, I don't think anyone should have that fucking job. It's a crazy job.
Yeah, man. It's nuts. Now I just ruined my presidential run. Fuck.
Damn it, Gary.
Got my podcast canceled. Ruined my presidential run.
This has been horrible. Horrible for all of
Scroll
us.
back and be like, he's running for president. He doesn't even want it. He said he doesn't want the job.
What episode are we on?
18?
Shit, we didn't even make it to 20. Fuck.
Damn it.
Didn't even make it to 20.
We got double digits.
Jeez.
It's Chris's fitness tips he's got for you. He's got the little tips. He's gonna give it all to you. Just the tip. The little fitness tip. He's gonna
Chris,
give it
you got
all
anything for us?
to you.
Want to
Yes.
talk about any tips?
Alcohol and performance, because everyone's fucking drinking a ton.
Obviously,
Mm,
very performance enhancing.
Yeah. So
Chris?
I drink, and I'm an athlete.
Don't you talk down on alcohol now.
So
Drugs
I've
are
had
bad.
a lot of people ask me about like drinking while training, and you know, there's some benefit though, right? No, there's not. There's absolutely no benefit to drinking and performance exercise.
Chris, mental health.
But what about lowering your standards and sleeping with uglier women?
It is absolutely ideal for that.
So doesn't that boost your confidence?
it
Could
it
that
does not as
impact your
well.
makes
athletic
you
performance in
happy.
positive
It's
ways?
definitely a confidence boost.
It makes you happy as shit. Makes
Yeah,
you happy
but,
as shit, dog.
So a few things that it does, like actually from a science standpoint, is it lowers your testosterone, it lowers your HGH, which hinders your recovery. That's one of the biggest problems is recovery, but also it fucks up your sleep, which really hurts all of those other things as well. And then your body's ability to restore glycogen after workouts, if you have like a heavy bout of drinking, that's really delayed. So those three things right there, lower GH, so you're not gonna recover and heal, you're not gonna grow. lower glycogen reuptake, so your next workout's going to suffer as well. And then hurting sleep hurts everything. So alcohol on performance.
Do you have reasons why it lowers those hormones? Are you aware of them?
So
I'm just curious myself personally.
HGH, one of the reasons is because it throws off your sleep cycles, and your sleep cycle,
that makes sense.
Your deep sleep is really important for HGH release, and it's in the middle of the night. So because of the sleep cycles and your REM cycles and your REM sleep is all messed up from drinking.
That's also true for testosterone, no? Because doesn't your testosterone cycle like that throughout the day? It's like at its peak earlier in the day.
In the morning. Mm-hmm. Yeah. First thing in the morning. So again, if you when your sleep is messed up, everything's messed up. But,
interesting.
Yeah, but also hepatically, what's going on with your liver? Because your liver, you're dealing with a toxin. That's what alcohol is. Your body wants to rid it immediately, and that's why you dehydrate so much. It is a true diuretic because your body is trying to filter it through the liver so fast, and it's expelling. It's like using a hose to wash everything out.
Sure.
Your body causes diuresis. You're trying to get those toxins out. And your liver is then so busy with dealing with the toxin, it kind of forgets all the other things that it's supposed to be doing, like dealing with glycogen, getting your keep doing gluconeogenesis, so making glucose so your blood sugar stays up. And that's another thing. When you drink, you have a hypoglycemia because of that reason. So your liver has a little bit of glycogen storage to make sure that your blood sugar stays level. When you're drinking, it's not really worried about that anymore. It's worried about the toxins. So that's where you can get that's why a lot of times people get dizzy or they get really hungry because your blood sugar drops, your insulin spikes.
Chris, I'm glad that you're talking about your body releasing toxins, because we almost forgot a little something that happened over the weekend with someone over here.
Oh,
and a little sausage incident.
Oh, bro. I mean, I don't know how.
And tons of shit everywhere.
Wants to hear it, but yeah, I got some pretty severe food poisoning. That I myself caused, I believe.
So now I'm gonna ask you what you rudely asked Blessing. Was it a shotgun blast, bro?
Hey man, listen, I'm a big. There's this divide between men, just so you know, where some men think it's hilarious to like send each other pictures of their own shit. Like I send photos to certain friends of like my shits that I think are like really big. Like if it's like a really big connected log, like I'll send it and like I'm proud of it. Like
look at this
dudes,
monster.
Then there's dudes that get those pictures and they'll like never want to talk to you. Like they can't handle it. They're like, please do not ever send me that photo. That I don't know, but there's a divide somewhere. Right. And I'm on the pro side of that. I personally think it's hilarious to talk about. But anyway,
that was such a polarizing topic.
It is. I expect to get emails about this. Please email the podcast. I want to hear your thoughts on whether or not it's cool to send shit photos to your friends.
And please DM Garry any poop photo that you can find. Loves it. He's got a fetish.
Please. I do. If you have an impressive shit, send it my way. I want to see.
Gary's got a Hall of Fame folder on his iPhone.
and if you really want to impress him, make sure you eat a whole bunch of corn before you take a huge shit.
Multicolored shit. Nice.
It's extra points because usually it actually disconnects the shit. So if you got a full one with corn in it, oof.
He's got details.
That's an art piece. So Garry.
Yeah.
Oh, back to
was it a shotgun blast? Do we want to pick up there?
Food poisoning. What happened, Garry?
So, all right.
What was the culprit? What was the cause?
So a lot of people are telling me that food poisoning isn't caused for like 24 hours after you eat whatever it is that poisoned you. So it could have been something I ate the day before that, but the timing was just so coincidental. I really feel like it was this. So I had like 5 eggs scrambled in the morning. Okay, which if you scramble eggs, it's pretty hard to fuck that up. Like they weren't.
Well, if the eggs are rotten.
Sure, but they were in the refrigerator. We don't leave them out, and they were not. They were fine for another 3 weeks.
You can leave eggs out.
Exactly. That's true. You could leave eggs out. You don't actually have to refrigerate them. In a lot of countries, they're out.
I don't refrigerate my eggs.
Yeah.
No other country does.
Anyway, I did that. I did like a little workout, and then later that day, I came back, and I was like, I needed to teach the Zoom session. I had to go back to my gym to teach the Zoom session. So I was in a little bit of a rush because I knew I needed to take a shower. So I took a shower. Before I took the shower, I boiled the frozen sausage and frozen vegetables, both of which were put in the freezer as soon as we got them. So I did that for 30 minutes to thaw or to defrost them or whatever. And then when I got out of the shower, I knew I was on short time. I boiled them for another 30 minutes, and then I had like 10 minutes to eat it. So, dude, for like 60 minutes, the shit was boiling, even though it was started frozen. It just doesn't add up. I feel like I cooked it fully. There had to be something bad in it to begin with, if that was it. But anyway, here's why I think that was what caused the food poisoning. Literally, like 4 bites into the sausage, my stomach was growling and was like pissed at me. But I was like, oh, maybe it's because I'm eating it too fast because I'm in a rush.
Did it taste funny?
No, it tasted fine. I cut it open, by the way, to look, and it was fully cooked all the way through. I always do that because the sausage, especially like a thick, like Italian sausage, like
yeah, that pork is iffy, man.
What's that?
The pork is iffy. You got to check it.
Yeah. So anyway, I started to feel sick right away, but didn't think anything of it. When I went to go teach, damn, dude, I felt terrible the whole time. I was moving slow. I couldn't think. I got back in my car. I drove to my apartment, and I didn't make it in the door, dude. As soon as I opened my car door and I like parked in my parking spot, I just vomited all over. And so there's this huge pile of vomit. Like just it looked like 4 pounds of ground beef were just vomited all over in a fucking circle. Then I went inside my house and proceeded to piss out of my ass for like literally had to be like 12 hours straight, like every 10 minutes. I would drink a bottle of water and it would just go straight through me.
Bro, did you shotgun? Did you shotgun it?
The water?
Was it like a shotgun blast?
Oh, the shit.
A super soaker with pressure.
For sure. So at first, when there was still shit coming out, it was like shotgun, big shotgun blast.
Normandy.
But then it was more like a water gun or a fire hose because it was literally just shooting out.
There's no more food in there. There was
no food left.
Yeah.
So anyway, I couldn't go to sleep. I slept for like an hour because every time I would lay down, my stomach would growl and I'd have to fucking shit. I started to get dehydrated. Like my mouth got really dry and I'm like, shit, I got to get Pedialyte because the water, like if you just keep filtering water through your system, it's one of the things like with weight cutting and water loading, you got to be a little careful. Like you'll just get dehydrated because of the electrolyte balance. The electrolyte balance is all off. But there's no pharmacies open until fucking late now because everything has to fucking shut down for whatever reason. So anyway, the nearest one wasn't open until like 8 a.m. So I had to wait till then. Got my Pedialyte, came back. Oh, sorry. Before I got the Pedialyte, I looked at the vomit because I had to get into my car. I looked at the vomit. This is the first time this happened in my life. What?
You stepped in it.
No. I immediately felt sick to my stomach again from looking at the previous vomit. And I'm like, nah, Garry, you're being a pussy. Like, just drive off. So I drive off. I'm still feeling sick. I make it around one bend of the parking lot. And I'm like, nope. I had jumped out of the car, vomited again.
Jesus. You had a rough fucking weekend, bro.
Yeah, quarantine's not treating me well. So I get out, get my Pedialyte, come back. I start to kind of hold things down a little bit. And, things started to slow down. But then this morning I started shitting a bunch too. But I'm starting to recover now. I'm feeling good.
What's horrible? When you start shotgunning it, just like blasting in the toilet and everything ricochets right back to your asshole.
You got to like wipe off your lower back. Did you ever see Parks and Rec where the guy that plays it's Pratt, what's his name, is
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt is he's talking about shitting and wiping, and he's like, man, sometimes when I'm in there, like I can't do it. He's like, it's like a marker. I just keep wiping. I keep seeing it. Dude, I went to the pharmacy to get toilet paper. I literally ran out from shitting so much, and there was none left, so I went straight for the baby wipes. So
at least you were fresh, right?
Yeah.
You should have taken your roommate's toilet paper.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Probably.
Jeff's TP.
Is toilet paper still like scarce?
Apparently.
Really?
I went to the pharmacy to buy it, and there wasn't any. So
I've been stocked up. So I never had a problem.
People are crazy.
Dude, how funny would it be that there's like dealers outside the supermarket corners dealing toilet paper?
It was happening first.
Yo, dog, you want to roll? You want to roll? You want to roll? $10.
I've been having
It was-
trouble getting paper towels, which is a bitch because I use it for cooking.
Yeah. Yeah, same. There was like 2 paper towels left on the shelf when I went, and it was like the shitty ones that feel like fucking sandpaper.
Mm-hmm. Super thin.
Well, beautiful. Why don't we end it on that note?
I hope
That
you
was a
make
very-
a promo
that
of
was a
the
beautiful-
chopped up diarrhea story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that was a beautiful, vivid story, Gary. Thank you for
I
elaborating.
mean, I didn't think you actually wanted me to tell that.
What? What'd you say, Gary?
I said I didn't think you actually wanted me to tell the diarrhea story.
I
but-
think it's hilarious.
All right, good. So you're
You were
so you're
shitting
one of
your
the guys I
pants
can
all
send my
weekend?
pictures of poop to. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't want you to send me a fucking
I'm
picture
sending
of
you a
it.
log right after this.
No,
Yeah,
I got
no.
it queued up.
No.
Right before I started pissing out my ass, I had a huge one, dude. Like fucking this.
That text thread is gonna be full of logs.
All right, man.
On that note.
See you later, guys.
All right, guys.
I move
Bitches.
for no man, no man, no man, no man, no
We'll call it a draw.
no man.
Just a flesh wound, 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 just a flesh wound.